Greetings everyone, it is Ryder, and today the Lord wanted me to share another prophetic word with you, and the title of this message is Don't Get an Abortion. Don't get an abortion. And, you know, this message is like a little different than some of the other ones that the Lord has had me share in the past, because I know that this one is meant for like one person specifically, and I don't know who this person is, but I just pray that it reaches the right person at the right time. So, last night, the Lord had showed me something in a dream. I saw that there was a young woman, and she was considering getting an abortion. Like, I guess she was pregnant, and, you know, she was planning on getting an abortion. And I remember just seeing her, and I think we were at, like, some sort of, like, store or something, like maybe like a convenience store or something, because there were like magazines and snacks and stuff like that. And I remember talking to this woman, you know, and just trying to like encourage her to like not get an abortion. You know, I don't know exactly what I had said, but I just remember I spoke to her. She had decided not to go through with getting an abortion, you know, and then she went to like tell people in her life, you know, like, hey, I'm actually gonna keep the baby. And everyone had such a nasty response to her, you know, and it wasn't even like men, you know, it wasn't even like the person that like, you know, she was made pregnant by, you know, whether that was like the boyfriend or husband or fiance or whatever, you know, it wasn't even the men, it was the women that were treating her with this like absolute venom. Like they were like scowling at her, you know, they were saying nasty things. They're like, you know, what's wrong with you? And I remember her like looking at one of the women, you know, and I was seeing this through this woman's eyes. You know, she was looking at her friend, and I guess her friend's name was Carrie, and she was like, and Carrie was just like scowling at her, and she was like, Carrie, I thought that you would support me, and her face was just like this scowl, like it was like turning kind of monstrous, honestly. And, you know, like, she was just upset, like she thought her friend was gonna support her, and she just turned on her like that. And there were other women where it was the same thing, that she just got this nasty response from this, you know. But I believe that the Lord showed me this dream for a reason. You know, I don't know who this message is for, but I do believe that there is a young woman out there that may come across this video that is considering getting an abortion. And I want to urge you to keep the baby. Even if it means that your life may be more difficult, that you have to put a pause on some of your dreams and goals with like career and education and stuff to raise this child, you know, like it would be better to raise the child than to abort the baby, you know, because abortion, you know, like that child like is alive from conception, you know, that child has the breath of God in them, and to abort the baby is killing the baby. That is murder, and that's a breaking of one of the 10 commandments that says thou shalt not murder. I've heard testimonies of women that have had abortions, and, you know, they had a very hard time conceiving later on when they were ready to have a baby. You know, they were trying to, like, you know, conceive to, like, have a child for, like, 10 years, and it was only after they repented to God, you know, and confessed their sins to Him that their wombs were healed and they were able to be conceived. You know, I've heard of it causing, you know, like other like medical complications and stuff like that, and I think that it also can have like bad spiritual effects as well. You know, like it can like, you know, affect our walk with the Lord, it can affect our faith, it can affect our physical bodies, you know. So I would just urge you to keep the child. And if there are people in your life that are going to mock you, that are going to say like you're ruining your life, what are you doing, just get an abortion, everybody's doing it, it's not a big deal, don't listen to them. Do not listen to the women in your life that are speaking this venom at you, that are trying to encourage you to get an abortion. I don't know why they are coming up against you. No, I actually do know why they're coming up against you. They're agents of the enemy. You know, they want you to walk into this snare, this pitfall. They want you to walk into this sin, and they want you to believe the delusion that it's okay because everybody else is doing it. Think about yourself, think about your career, think about your future, think about your finances. But here's the thing, you know, you were able to conceive, you know, because God allowed it. It's God's will for you to raise this child. It is God's will for you to have this child and to raise them. And God will provide for both you and your child. God will provide for both you and your son. I feel in my spirit that you will bear a son. God will provide for you and your son. So do not worry. Do not worry about finances. Do not worry about your future. Do not worry about your career. God will make a way for you and your son. As long as you walk in holiness and righteousness, you rely upon him and you are obedient to him. I just ask you and I plead with you, whoever this message is for, to not abort the baby, to please, conceive this child, raise this son, and walk with the Lord, and he will provide for you and he will take care of you. And if other people are going to scorn you, they're going to mock you, they're going to ridicule you, so be it. So be it. Sometimes we have to face sufferings and trials and persecutions to be loyal, to be obedient to the Lord. I know it's not the exact same, so I don't really have a way of relating, but I know for me, when I got sober, when the Lord had told me to get sober and also to start practicing celibacy and stuff and to just start walking with him, I had to cut ties with pretty much everybody from my past because I had people talking to me and they thought that I was crazy because I was saying that I was hearing from God and he was showing me things in dreams and visions. I had people that were just uncomfortable, viscerally uncomfortable when I'd be talking about my faith, so I felt like I had to put on a muzzle when I had to talk to them, when, my relationship with God was becoming increasingly more important to me, and it's like, I can't talk about it around you, come on, So, I had to walk away from, all the, friends that I had back then. I had to stop talking to literally everybody in my biological family. I had to cut ties with a lot of people. And I know it's not the exact same, but, I had to cut ties with a lot of people and, give up a lot of relationships and connections and stuff to get closer to God and to walk with him. And it sounds like this is a similar thing that you might have to do as well, but please don't be afraid and don't be discouraged. The Lord will take care of you. He's taken care of me and provided for me, this far in my life, and although I have my worries and fears and doubts about finances and bills and work and all this stuff, God's always gotten me through the difficult times in my life and provided for me, and I know that he will provide for you and your son as well. With all that being said, I hope that this message was helpful, and I just pray that this message reaches the right person at the right time, in Jesus' name. With all that being said, I hope that this was helpful, so for now, take care, stay safe, have a wonderful rest of the day, and know that Jesus loves you, and I love you too. Bye-bye.